Welcome back to NewOrleans.Football presented by PJ's Coffee, coming to you from the Oshner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute podcast studio up here from outside of the Saints' second preseason game that they just played to a tie against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And look, if you want to celebrate your fandom beyond the field and what just happened today, check out our guys at Keesler Federal. They're proud to be the official credit union sponsor of the New Orleans Saints, and they're a not-for-profit organization, which means their members always come first. And that's a great place to be because that means they're looking out for you. They aren't just looking out for their bottom line. So make sure you check them out. Got a really good show for you today. Mike's going to join us. John's going to join us. Kevin's going to join us. We're going to talk about everything we saw today out on the field, everything that we heard post game. And look, the first topic here presented by the Mortgage Brothers. Mortgagebros.money is their website. They'll give you $500 off your closing costs. Check them out. Some of my biggest takeaways from the game: I don't know who the hell I'd play a quarterback in week one. I think it's an impossible decision to make. And I don't think that there's a wrong answer. I think that you could justify going either direction. But I think what kind of makes it scary is I don't know if there is a right answer right now. I don't know which one of these guys you go with. I don't know which one of them gives you the best chance of beating Arizona and San Francisco and Seattle and Buffalo. I think those are all really tough games. And you could go any direction. You could go no direction. Doesn't feel like there is a sure thing toward a path to winning right now. And I don't know if that matters though. Like that's kind of the crazy thing. I don't really know if it matters in the sense. Let me explain that because it matters. Obviously, wins and losses matter. That's how people get paid. That's how you get in the playoffs. That's how things work. I mean, it's the NFL. But what I mean by that is, I'm not sure it matters in the sense of like it's how they finish. I don't really care about how it starts. You could put Tyler Shuck out there, and if you tell me he looks terrible in week one, but looks good in week 17, week 18, cool. Same thing with Rattler. Same process. You could start one, go to the other, whatever. As long if one of these guys looks great at the end of the season, and you're saying, okay, you can draft Peter Woods, great. That's an amazing thing to do. Okay, you can draft the Ohio State safety. Amazing outcome. But if you're in week 17 and they don't look good and you're looking at the quarterbacks, then that's not a good outcome. But I think really all that matters is what happens by the end of the season. This is a rebuild. And I think the more and more we watch this team, the more and more clear it becomes that this is a rebuild. Um, I don't know that you're getting the surprise season this year. I'm betting against it. I hope it happens because it's way more fun, but I'm betting against it right now, and that's okay. It's about the process and it's how they finish. But I don't know that there is a great option for starting. I'm starting to lean more toward the start Rattler, go to Shuck later. I don't know that Shuck's ready to handle it week one. I think it takes some time to figure that out. So those are all things that I think they need to get a grip on. Other takeaway, and I don't really know if this really matters big time or not, but second team defense, not great. Not great. The depth overall with this team, I think, is a little bit shaky. Not a lot of activity from the D line. Second team quarters, a little bit spotty. I thought Sanker played really well today. He was somebody that stood out. I like how he moves around the field. He's around the ball. Those are all really good things. I like how some of the linebackers second and third team play. Those are good things. But I think overall it was a reminder of just how thin the depth is on this team. And you're a couple injuries away from being in a tough spot. It's the result of not having great drafts over the years. But that was another thing that stood out. They didn't really tackle well. Didn't feel great about that group as a whole. And and lastly, and we're going to get into this more, I think Kendrick Miller's a baller. We're live streaming all these games, reacting to them live as they happen on our website, NewOrleans.Football. Go there, check it out. NOF 20% off your first payment if you're a new customer. Every game we're going to do that with. We park a van outside the stadium, go in there, do a pregame show, come out here, stream the game, go in there, do the locker room. That's how we're doing it this year. So sign up if you want to be a part of that. We had like 1,000 comments on that video today. Really awesome community over on the site. But yeah, we're gonna get into this, but we were talking about it on there. Like, I'm not saying football player wise, because that's a whole different conversation. There's all kinds of stuff that goes into being a great football player, but like sheer athletic ability, talent wise, Kendrick Miller's like in that top 5 conversation on the team, I think. I don't know who else you're putting on there. I mean, there's a few guys for sure. I don't know if he's fifth or third or whatever. I know he's not first or second, but he's somewhere in that top 5. And man, like he is fun to watch right now. I think he might be at that top of the list of guys that are like, just when he touches the ball, I'm holding my breath to see what happens. Like I'm intrigued by every single little thing he does. And we're gonna talk about that because he's definitely gonna be up on the 3 up, 3 down when we get to that segment with Kevin. Right now, we're gonna bring in Mike to talk more about the offensive line. All right, we're joined now by Mike Triplett, who's up in the press box. We're down in the parking lot, in the van that is insured by Chabert Insurance. They are the presenters of the next topic, the Earhart Agency. Make sure you hit them up if you need to save some money on your insurance, or you just want to save some money on your insurance. Offensive line, to this point, it feels a little bit spottier than maybe than would lead to comfort.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's probably the biggest concern coming out of this game, legitimate concern, because I do think if we ever overreact to the preseason, we often overreact to players who are not actually going to play valuable snaps on the team. But the biggest problem tonight was those 2 plays on the opening drive where Cesar Ruiz and Talifuaga could not get on the same page on those stunts. The Jaguars had the sack and then the intentional grounding penalty, both on that drive, where I know everybody was killing Ruiz for it, and Ruiz has not had a strong summer, and he is an area of concern. But the way that was set up, the guy that was originally lined up against Fuaga ended up cutting over and running right into Ruiz. They obviously haven't figured out how they're supposed to handle that because your reports from California, it looked like the exact same thing was happening against the Rams. These are guys that are going to be very, very, very important to this team this year. These aren't the backups. I am concerned about the backups. Trevor Penning's already hurt. What if McCoy isn't out there? What if Kelvin Banks isn't out there? I don't like the depth on the offensive line right now, especially after Will Clapp's injury. But the biggest concern is that they have starting offensive linemen who are getting pass protection miscommunications out there. Absolutely, I think it's fair to bring that up as a real concern coming out of this game.
Yeah, it's just been a little bit spottier than usual. And look, the reason that we're even bringing it up is because it's just the thing that we feel like probably has to be the strength of the team for them to have any chance at any type of success. And I think in the case of like Banks and Fuaga, you don't rush to any type of conclusion early. And it's all about how those two finish because they're all about 2026, 27, 28. That's where the real like sight is set for those two. But I think for Tyler Shucker, Spencer Rattler to have any type of chance at success and to lead this offense, they need to have a lot of time in the pocket. And I felt like when Spencer had time to find guys, like he was doing it for the most part. Shuck has a better any quarterback in the league. You give him a little bit more time. That little bit more time is going to lead to a little bit more success. You give him a lot of time, it's going to lead to a lot of success. And this is a group. It's just first rounder, second rounder, first rounder. I mean, like it should be a top 10 unit in the league. And I think hopefully by the end of the season, it is for the sake of their rebuild. But where it's at right now just isn't good enough. And like they're getting fooled on the stunts. Week 1, they couldn't block anything on a run. I had Kendra Miller had 6 runs, and I think on 5 of them he was getting hit before he could get through the offensive line. Like that's a rough ratio. You need some yards before contact. So I think a lot of stuff has to come together. Now we're going to continue this conversation, and the continuation is presented by RV Masters. They build our band. Go check them out. McCoy not being out there, like it is a big deal. Like he's a guy. We did a study. It was like a 12% pressure rate was different. I think when you have a rookie undrafted player at center and a rookie at quarterback, the identifications probably aren't happening the way they should. And that's probably how you get fooled. Kellen Moore said, we got to see some movement. That's probably why you don't see the movement. Torricelli Simpkins, ton of upside, ton of potential. Never has played in an NFL game before, like a real NFL game. So he hasn't seen a lot of ball. Tyler Shuck's 26. He hasn't seen a lot of NFL ball. I think McCoy not being out there is probably a huge piece of this.
No question. I mean, Eric McCoy might be the MVP of this team. We saw that. We appreciated him more than ever when he got hurt last year. They were the best offense in the NFL, and then they were the worst offense in the NFL just by taking him out. He's even more important when you've got young quarterbacks in there, and you do need your center to help with the protection calls and recognizing the defenses. Way more important than a center is in the Drew Brees era, obviously. Super talented player. we can't say enough good things about Eric McCoy, but can he solve all this by himself? I don't want to put too much on him. Like, everything will be fine when Eric McCoy is back. Trevor Penning's still going to be hurt. The two offensive tackles are still going to be rookies. And Cesar Ruiz, I don't know what's going on with him. He's probably the guy who will be helped most by Eric McCoy. It would stand to reason since they played together so long, and he'll get back in his comfort zone. But without question, having Eric McCoy back, having Alvin Kamara back, maybe one day getting Taysom Hill back, obviously all that'll be better. I think these coaches can scheme a run game. But yeah, we absolutely counted on the offensive line being a strength of this team. You don't want that to be one of your worry spots coming out of the second preseason game.
Yeah, and Foster Moreau being back would help too, with just some of the blocking element of it. I do think if McCoy can get Caesar back to just regular Caesar, and it's the regular Caesar salad and not the one with the light dressing, like, I think you're fine. Like, that's a solid place to be. That's going to get you by. It might not be like the place you drive to get lunch, but like, it'll get you by. It'll solve your hunger. You'll feel fine. It's okay. You might desire something else, but like, it's okay. Like, if you get back there, you're in a good place. That's all they need to do right now with him. If they can do that, that'd be a great thing. The Ochsner Orthopedics Walk-In Clinic is now open. Located at 1201 South Clearview Parkway, across from the Elmwood Shopping Center, this clinic provides convenient same-day care for a variety of orthopedic and sports injuries. No referral or appointment needed. Whether you need care for strains, sprains, fractures, sports injuries, or muscular pain, the team of orthopedic specialists offers care for patients 5 and older. Open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
For fans of saving money. For fans of big rewards. For fans of getting more for your money. There's Keesler Federal, the official credit union of the New Orleans Saints. Saints fans, open your free high-earning checking and see what it's like to get better rates, better returns, and better service. Join a winning team. Keesler Federal, the official credit union of the New Orleans Saints. Membership and credit eligibility required. Federally insured by NCUA.
The NewOrleans.Football show is proudly presented by PJ's Coffee. PJ's Coffee has some of the best drinks that you can find. They have locations all over the city. They have pastries and everything else you need to get your day started. So go check them out. I don't play favorites with our sponsors on the show, but one of my favorites for sure is RV Masters. You guys have been watching our show lately and you've seen our awesome new van. That thing is decked out. And the best part about it is I took it up to RV Masters and I was like, this is what I want to do, but I had no idea how I wanted to do it or how to get it done. And they took care of it from start to finish, brought me out for updates, were giving me new ideas, and they made it exceed my wildest dreams. And they will do the same thing for you. RV Masters offers full service RV, motorhome, and travel trailer repair. They have preventative maintenance and service packages for your RVs, your AC, your generators. They specialize in solar and lithium upgrades, satellite TV, and Starlink. They'll take care of you if you get into a collision. Whatever you need, they got you. And I can speak from experience because they definitely had us on our new van. I cannot vouch for anyone more than I vouch for RV Masters. RV-Masters.com. Go check them out.
These gems don't just listen, they pay. Play Lucky Gems from the lottery. Win up to $4,000. Keep it rolling straight to your wallet with Money Rolls. Win up to $15,000. Soak up wins with Sunny Days Bingo. Top prize is a whopping $50,000. Fun tickets, cool prizes. Play all 3 exciting games from the lottery.
Looking for the best insurance coverage at the lowest price? Look no further than Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency. They are a local independent insurance agency right here in New Orleans, specializing in home, flood, and auto insurance. At Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency, their dedicated team will shop every available carrier in the market ensuring you get the most comprehensive coverage at the lowest possible price. Why settle for less when you can have the best? Trust Shawbear Insurance, the Earhart agency, to protect what matters most to you. I do. I've been a client of theirs since 2021. Call them today at 504-326-6526 or visit them online at Protected by Shawbear. That's 504-326-6526. Shawbear Insurance, the Earhart agency, your local insurance experts. Hardhide flavored whiskey, Ponchatoula strawberry, and Chilton County peaches in your favorite bars, stores, and restaurants. Hardhide Chilton County Peach Whiskey is a blend of aged wheat whiskey, light American whiskey, and fresh Chilton County peaches from Alabama's Durbin Family Farms. And Hardhide Strawberry Whiskey tells the story of a small town famous for strawberry farming. A delicious natural strawberry-infused 86-proof whiskey for whiskey lovers. Just look for the red and orange bottles in your favorite stores, bars, and restaurants. That's going to bring us into our next topic, which is the player of the game, presented by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey and Chilton County Peach. Player of the game this week, Mason Tipton. He's the champion of the preseason. He's winning every single one of these every single week, 2 weeks in a row. He did cause the interception against with Rattler in there by not running through the plant. Rattler comes back. Tipton comes back. They take him down the field like Montana to Rice, just pop, 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 pop down the field. He's the player of the game again. And we saw this last year. We saw Tipton dominate the offseason, was awesome in training camp, got hurt, got to the season, didn't do a whole lot. I actually think he's going to do something this year, though. It feels like he's building towards something. So that's the guy. I'm excited to see what he can do this season. Not saying he's wide receiver 1, 2, 3, whatever, or anything like that, but I think he looks really good right now. And I like the way he's trending. That looks like it might be a real player for this team. So Tipton, 2 wins. No one's going to tie him. He is the preseason champion. All right. It's time now for 3 Up, 3 Down with Kevin. All right. Joined now by Kevin Washington for the 3 Up and 3 Down presented by Aaron Rose. We got Mason Tipton as the player of the game 2 weeks in a row. Preseason champion. Give him the belt. Lock it in. No one's going to catch him no matter what happens next week. He is the winner of the preseason. Who you got as give me with one of your ups?
Yeah, he was obviously one of them. Someone else that just I was watching them play and they were standing out to me, and he didn't do anything really like crazy, but I was watching Rumpf, and he just seemed to be in the right place at the right time, right? He looks like an NFL player. I see him. He made a offensive tackle miss without even getting his hands on him at one point. And he did a good job on there. I thought he beat a tight end at another time after kind of working through some traffic. So he's just looking like he belongs on the roster, like a depth pass rusher guy. And like with a team, I think this team does need depth, especially at that position. I think he's someone who can come in and just give him some snaps. So just seeing him continue to play well, he's someone I got in the up.
It's a good pick. Definitely somebody that's playing well. Definitely going to make the team. My number one up for this game, Trayton Welch, maybe. I like the catch he made. He's looks like somebody that might be a player for a team, a good role player. Maybe not your tight end 1, tight end 2, but like is a guy that should be on an NFL team. I think he's on the team due to circumstance, but I think he's playing himself into a position to where he would have been probably on the team anyhow as a bright spot. And that catch today was like kind of like the Brock
Bowers Jr.
from yesterday. Yeah, that was a play, man. That was a play.
Crazy.
Who else you got?
I like seeing Simpson still in there. I still like him seeing it. He's just kind of solidifying the middle. Again, he's someone who I'm thinking about depth, right? And can he, is he going to look good in other guard spots? He's coming in and solidifying the center. So he's someone, I was watching the interior of the O-line today. That was kind of the group that I probably spent the most time on. And so I probably, got to watch him a lot. And I think he plays strong, right? Even I saw him kind of lose off the snaps a couple of times, and he recovered with his strength, right? And was able to redirect some guys. So I think that he's someone who they could, get in and maybe get in and fill some snaps. Hopefully he kind of like transitions to one of those Clemente type guys. I'm not a starter, but someone who can come in and fill the spot. And so just for, with them playing with so many depth guys, I thought he came in and got it done in the middle. And so just didn't see his name called out line for negative reasons.
Yeah, he's doing well. Yeah, I like everything we've seen from him. My next one had a quiet camp, was a little bit worried about where it was going. Didn't know what he was going to look like at the end of it. Has started to make plays. Cedric Wilson, like he's made some catches, and I don't know that he's like up changing the fate of the team, but I was a little bit worried about like wide receiver 4 or 5. Seeing him make some plays, feel good about it. He's probably the only one at that position that can block. Feel really good about that. So if he can make some plays out there, I feel decent about that position. I still think they're a wide receiver short, but they don't feel like they're 2 wide receivers short.
Yeah. That's a good way to think about it. I thought he made some nice plays today. I think he's just you know what you're going to get from him, right? And I
Yep.
think you need players like that. I know Show came off a read and he was right there in the middle of the field, right where he should have caught the ball. Show put it on point. Shuck put it on point, got the first down. So yeah, he's someone you can probably just get in the game, know what you're going to get. But one of those positions you'll always be looking to upgrade, but he'll get it done this year.
Who you got?
Other than I watched the rookie again. Again, I was watching the offensive line a lot this year. And I'm just rattle off a couple of guys who I thought was like, just quickly. I thought the rookie, I thought he played well. I thought that, he's like
Talking about Banks?
Yeah. I should have said the left tackle, but he just looks like he knows what he's doing over there, right? Like he's when if a blitz or a stun is coming, he's keeping his hand on like a guy that needs his help while watching the field around him. Like his field awareness just looks really good. I can see that he's kind of like aware of what's going on, and so he just looks like a vet out there. Really, I kind of got to the point where I just quit paying attention to him and start looking at the right side. So I thought that he looked good. I thought that Stutzman did something again that I love today. One he just his play speed and his play mentality is really good. He shot a gap. I thought he shot a gap really good today where he read a play. The O-line blocked him because he kind of didn't have a clear path to him, but I saw that he read it right. To me, when you see a rookie doing that, that's always impressive. So I like that. And the last guy, man, Kendra looks like fast and explosive and running back too, like, right? It's like the Kendrick that we've been looking for that we kind of hope to see. I think we're kind of starting to maybe see a little bit of that. Now the season has to come into play, but he looks twitchy, man. He just looks like a different guy with the ball in his hand. To your point last week, I'm gonna keep running it back until more do. Find a way to get the guy, find a few plays that the guy like, get the ball in his hands and just see what happens. So yeah.
Yeah, I hated the way the interior played. I didn't feel bad about the young tackles too much though. I think both of them played pretty decently today. The whole line as a whole though, I'm a little bit worried about as a group. My other ups, I'm trying to think. You hit Kendre. I don't know if I got another up.
Yeah, I kind of went through all the rest of the guys up.
I had some notes here. Let me see. Sanker. I liked how Sanker played today.
Yeah.
Like got a couple standout like splash plays. I don't know that we're gonna love everything he did when we go back through it, but I think he stood out today positively throughout. Give me one of your downs.
My downs, man, I'm gonna go with the O-line with what I saw on the right side, right? I mean, those back-to-back plays. One play, Fuaga. I thought the first sack was on where they had the back-to-back sacks. I thought the first one on Fuaga, the linebacker rotated down last minute. He didn't see him. Guy went around the edge, free run to the quarterback. And then the next one with Ruiz, that on the in tackle stunt, he actually lost his footing. I actually went back and watched it, and he lost his footing and he didn't read the stunt. So I thought that was I didn't think that was a good snap for Ruiz, and then he got a little hurt. So I just want to see more from this unit with all this investment put into it, right? All these first round picks, second round picks, contracts. Like this unit isn't good, then I thought that I didn't really get the best evaluation of Shuck today because he was playing under fire, so they got to be better.
Foskey for me made a play at the end of the game, but I mean, it's a tough inclusion on the 53-man roster. I think that one kind of it's just not happening.
Yeah. He's not setting the edge right neither. It's not even just pass rush no more. It's just so much more that he's not getting done. So yeah.
You got anyone else?
I put Colin Saunders and him in gosh, 54 was the other
Jonah Williams.
Yeah, like they're just getting knocked off the ball. I mean, 2-3 yards off the snap. I mean, I saw Saunders I think it's like 2 or 3 times. I got to go back and check because the number was looking weird from the angle. But I mean, he's coming off the snap, and at one point he's on one leg trying to maintain this balance, from keeping the guys from keep almost on the ground essentially at some point. And so, these are double teams, but that's his job, right? Like, you are a nose tackle. You are supposed to take the double team. And if you shade it on the left side of the tackle, and by the end of the play, you're in where the 3 technique would have been on the other side of the line. That's probably not a good play for the D line. And these gaping holes are coming as a result. So, I'm just seeing the nose tackle who's not really doing well against a double team. And, I think that's a tough sell when you given that position. So, in the run defense in general, I thought that it's just leaky, and I thought the interior was a big part of that.
The run defense is a down. You know what though? I'm gonna add to that. And I thought Christian Boyd it was just paved and the runway was there for him, and I didn't see it today, and I was a little disappointed by that. I thought he had a chance to just say, "Hey, this job's mine. I'm the young guy. This team's rebuilding. Ideologically, I fit, and you have to pick me." And he didn't make that any easier of a decision on himself. And I feel like just with like a really good game, he could have just said, "Hey, like Colin Saunders is out of here," and I don't think that happened for him today. So I was a little bit disappointed with that. I don't down maybe is harsh, but I think he's down just given the consequence and all that. But man, yeah, really my last global thought on this was just, boy, that run defense was brutal. It wasn't the real defense, but man, that was rough. That was a rough day.
Yeah.
Kind of got bullied a little bit. All right, this is going to do it for 3 Up, 3 Down. That's Kevin Washington. Check him out on NewOrleans.Football. He's got the members only podcast every single week with Mike. Kevin, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right, welcome back to NewOrleans.Football. We're now joined by NewOrleans.Football writer John Hendricks. He's up in the press box, and we're going to break down this quarterback battle. And this topic presented by Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. John, who's your pick week 1? Who are you starting? You got Shuck, you got Rattler. Who's your guy?
I got to go with Rattler, man. I just think it's not just based off of what he did, but I just feel like he's the more comfortable quarterback. Shuck, man, he had a golden opportunity here. Again, that first sack on him, that was on the offensive line. The second play, that's kind of inexcusable he's a rookie, but you can't take that. It put him in the 3rd and 30. You just can't play like that. But Rattler showed that he's a lot more comfortable here, bouncing back from the interception. That speaks some volumes for me, similar to what Shuck did last week, but Rattler's done it. He's obviously been here a little bit longer too, so I think it's playing into his favor.
Yeah, I kind of it felt like everything was paid for him. And I thought this was going to maybe be the week where Tyler Shuck had the Tyler Shuck coronation, and we were all like, yeah, he's going to start week 1, because it feels like that's the way they want this to go. They replaced him on April 25th in my mind. Like when they drafted him, that was like, this is the guy we want to start. I felt like the 2-minute drill last week was a strong indicator of their lean. I thought putting Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed out there with him again today stacked the deck even further in his favor. And it should be stacked in his favor. They picked him 40th, but I don't feel like he took it. What we saw today, that didn't feel like a guy that I'm pushing to put into the game. And look, we saw him make another one of them kind of panic plays while under pressure, and that's a big deal to me.
Yeah, I agree. And look, something that went back to last year, honest thing would be that Rattler earned his starting role because of what he was able to do on the show team, right? And so I think for Shuck, being out there and being able to maybe develop a little bit might help him out a lot. But those are 4 really good opponents that Rattler's going to have to face off against in the beginning. San Francisco's no joke. They got Robert Saleh now. Buffalo is obviously a Super Bowl caliber team, and obviously Seattle, they're no slouch either. I mean, in Arizona's got Kyler Murray, so there's going to be a lot to figure out here. Spencer Rattler, again, you look at his experience from last year. I think he's the guy that is most groomed to be ready to start for an NFL team. And look, when you get Alvin Kamara here, Eric McCoy, all these pieces that this team has been meeting, you put it all together, I don't think it's going to lead to just instant success, but I feel like this defense is going to be the bread and butter for this team. It needs to be the bread and butter, similar to the last few years of Drew. And so I think that could help take some pressure off of whatever quarterback they do put in.
I think we have lost his connection, but yeah, I agree with him on that one. My biggest thing, and I said this at the beginning, I don't know that you have a guy that is a right decision in this spot. And I think that's the toughest part about it, is that you don't know necessarily who it should be. They can go in either direction here. I don't know that we're ending this conversation yet. There's still like 3 weeks until the start of the season, and there's a lot of stuff that can be figured out. But I will say, going back to that panic play, I'm not calling it a hard line in the sand. I'm not calling it a deal breaker. I'm not calling it anything like that. The season's still weeks away, but that is something that has to get cleaned up really, really quick. We saw one of those in the preseason. There's one on his Louisville film that turned into like an interception where he kind of panicked under pressure. You can't have that stuff happen in games because the next time it is going to be more costly, and it might just be a grounding and you say, oh, well, it would have been a sack anyhow. But what if the next time he's going to do that and the ball gets knocked out because he's not seeing everything, or he goes to flip it out because he's under pressure and he's not processing right? Like, the right thing to do there is just take the sack, have it end, get to the next down and keep playing. You could turn a bad situation into something worse. That is almost, I see that in a regular season game, and I would consider going to the other guy. That's a play that can't happen. But I do, I do hope by the end of the season, Tyler Shuck plays the majority of the games, because I think they need to know. Unless Spencer Rattler's out there at the start and he's just winning every game, then that's your answer to the thing. But I just want them to know by the end of the season, they know whether they got the guy or not, and that's kind of the biggest thing that we need to see. Big news from the home team, introducing our newest sponsor, the Mortgage Brothers. With over 30 years of combined experience, the Mortgage Brothers are the quarterbacks of home lending, calling the right plays to get you across the goal line. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned vet, they'll coach you through every down and make sure you feel like part of the team. They're backed by Cross Country Mortgage, the #1 retail lender in the nation, so there's no loan playbook they can't run. FHA, VA, conventional, RD, and more. They're lifelong season ticket holders, local guys who know the field and your market, and their online application takes less than 10 minutes. Why fumble your mortgage with some online lender who's never even watched your team play? Stick with the Mortgage Brothers, the trusted pros who play to win. Mention NOF and get $500 back in lender credit toward your closing costs. That's money back in your pocket when it counts. Visit mortgagebros.money and start shopping with confidence. Because with Mortgage Brothers, it's always no flags, no fumbles, just smooth closings every single time.
Slide into summer with New Orleans Hamburger and Seafood's new sliders. Get 2 each of cheeseburger, buffalo chicken, meatball, or chicken and waffles served with a side of garlic herb fries. Starting at $9.99 now at New Orleans Hamburger and Seafood Company.
I got hurt in a car wreck. Why should I get Gordon?
Because when you're hurt, you need money. And I fight for the people of Southeast Louisiana every day. I got a client who injured their neck in a car wreck, $250,000. Another client was hit by a big truck and needed back surgery. I got them $700,000, and they deserved every single penny.
That's what I'm talking about. Why wouldn't I get Gordon?
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, just call me, New Orleans. Get it done.
Call 504-800-8888.
You ever take a bite of something and immediately think, yeah, I'm coming back for this? Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant just added some new dishes, and man, they crushed it. The shrimp and crawfish pistolets, golden and stuffed with bold Cajun flavor. Fried oyster tacos, crispy, fresh with the perfect kick. And the soft shell crab Alfredo, creamy, rich, and absolutely worth the order. They're open 7 days a week, and they deliver late. Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant. Delicious food, superior service. Whether you are a local New Orleanian or a fan in town for the game, get your pre- and post-game fired up at Aaron Rose. Local chaos and local love for the black and gold. Wake up and live with daily drink specials, mimosas, screwdrivers, Bloody Marys, and hot or frozen Irish coffees, all just $3 or $4 between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Aaron Rose, half a block from Bourbon Street in the French Quarter, 811 Conti Street. Attention Saints fans, don't let pests and termites invade your home field. Trust the team at Red Pest Solutions to tackle those unwelcome visitors. Call the Red Man today for unbeatable pest and termite control. Score peace with no pest. Visit redpest.com, REDDPEST.com. All right, welcome back. It is now time for the Get Gordon question of the day, presented by Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. And we got like 50 of these, so I'm going to just hit a couple going down the list real quick, rapid fire, get in and out on a couple of them. Someone said, Saints are going to be a top 10 pick team. What's your dream prospect in 2026? So many QBs. I mean, the dream prospect is you got the number 1 pick. Lenore Sellers puts it all together, and that's your guy. That is the dream prospect in this draft, assuming Arch doesn't come out. Arch would obviously be the top guy, but I like both those guys. I mean, look, we'll see where it ends with the quarterback. So Nussmeier's in there, Drew Aller's in there, Klubnik's in there. At this time last year, we thought Carson Beck was going to be the number 1 pick in the draft, and look what happened there. So a lot has to happen at that quarterback position, but there's a lot of things to look at. And then you got Parker and Woods at Clemson on the D line, 2 monsters there. So there's a lot of guys, if you're picking high in the draft next year, that I think can kind of help your team. And if you're picking like 5th, 6th, there's Caleb Downs at Ohio State, who might actually be the best player in that draft, but he's a safety. So you kind of push that positional value down just a little bit. Next one that we got on here. How many free agents do you think the Saints sign after cut day? I think they're going to be active in that group overall. And I think there's probably a lot of guys that are the 50th, maybe the 54th best player for a lot of teams is better than the 50th guy on this team. So I would be surprised if one of those guys ends up not ending up on the team. I think they're going to be really active in that area. Someone said, "Do you see the future QB on the roster after 2 games?" The odds are always against 5th-round picks. They're always against 2nd-round picks. 2nd-round picks, going back 10 years since Derek Carr, there's been 4 who have made it. Geno Smith, Derek Carr, Jalen Hurts, Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy had to go to a different team. Geno had to go to a different team to have it kind of work out for him. Obviously, Jimmy was blocked by Tom Brady, so that's not a 1-to-1 comp. But, 6 times out of 10, you don't hit in the 2nd round. So they have to prove the odds wrong. It was always a long shot. I'm never against taking a shot on a quarterback in any round if you feel like you see something you like there. So I'm not upset at it. What do you think about the quarterback situation? We'll see. I think there's a lot to be determined. I think it's tough right now. I don't know that either of them are all the way there, but I'm not reaching a conclusion on a quarterback after 2 preseason games. And, we'll see. Like I said, I think the odds are against them. I think odds are right now, if you got to place a bet, you're betting on them looking at the top of the draft next year. I think that's probably where it's at. Nothing we've seen would drastically change that thought process, but I'm not ready to lock in a conclusion today. Let them play the season, see if there's improvement, see if everything clicks into place, see how it goes, and see what happens from there. What do you think of Isaiah Foskey? Incredibly disappointing to this point. Needs to play better, needs to be more productive, needs to find a way to make his way on this team. Right now, he is out on my 53-man roster. And biggest concern after 2 preseason games, outside of the quarterback stuff, depth. I think we saw it today. It's a thin team. You get some injuries going, you could very quickly end up in trouble. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. We'll talk to you guys next time.